So, dear Noble Sangha, this morning I have been instructed by my older brothers, Thầy Pháp Tử and Thầy Kỳ Ngộ, uh, to share on behalf uh, of them. And yeah, it's one of the beauties of being in the Plum Village community. When your older brothers and sisters don't want to do something, as a younger brother, you have to get ready to be uh, offered for sacrifice. So here I am, um, and I would like to share about the practice of communication in the Plum Village tradition. And we know that in the teaching of the Buddha teaches us in many instances in the Heart Sutra, in the Avatamsaka Sutra, the teaching of emptiness. And emptiness means that there is no separate self. There are only interdependent selves. So we exist, we coexist, we exist together because you are there, I am here. And so if we look deeply into ourselves, we see our father, our mother, we see the strengths of our father and also the weaknesses of our father, also the strengths and weaknesses of our mother. And looking into us, we also see our continuation. We see our next generation, the potential for the next generation, whether they have already manifested or not, maybe physically or as our children, or maybe our students, if we have students, or if we have younger brothers or sisters who take refuge in our practice, they are also our continuation. And so looking deeply this way, we see that we are connected. But sometimes our eyes, they fool us into thinking that we are separate. We look at our own body, and when we think, I want to stand up and walk, suddenly we can. I want to go to the fridge, open the fridge, we can. I want to do this, I want to say that, we can. It seems as though we have autonomy over this domain. But when we look at those around us, because it seems as though we have no influence over them, over that body. Therefore, there may be the thinking that what is outside of me is not me. And what is in this barrier of skin is me. Everything else is not me. So this is the wrong view of separate self, of self. And so if we have the wrong view of separate self, it is very easy for us to make ourselves suffer and make those around us suffer, because we may think that my happiness has nothing to do with your happiness, and your happiness has nothing to do with my happiness, right? We may think that you do whatever you want, you say whatever you want, you live however you want. I don't care if you are happy or not. I don't care about your physical or mental health. it does not affect me. But through our experience, through our lived experience, we know that we cannot be truly happy unless those around us are also living in peace and living in happiness. So we see that however much we want to deny this separateness, we are actually deeply connected. Mm. And so seeing this connection, um, we will do our best. We will do our best to take care of the person in front of us, our loved ones, because now we have the insight of interconnectedness, of interbeing. So therefore, we know that if you are not happy, I cannot be happy. If you are not peaceful, I cannot be truly peaceful. So we want to take care. We want to do something or say something that will change the situation for our loved ones. Mm. And in Plum Village, Thai offers the practice of restoring communication. Sometimes we think that we may have a difficulty with our father, our mother, or our children, and we want to cut off communication. We want to cut them out from our being, remove them from our being. But we cannot do this because we are made of each other. The father exists because the child exists. The child exists because the father exists. And because I know that your happiness is deeply related to my happiness, I will learn how to take care of you. I will want to learn to make you suffer less. I will want to learn to bring you more happiness. And so, how do we do this? We have the two practices that Thai offers in Plum Village, which is firstly the practice of deep listening, and the second, which is loving speech. Mm. Oftentimes, it is very difficult for us to understand our loved ones because maybe we feel a bit too full. Our mental space is very full with all of the projects and all of the responsibilities we have, some deadlines, mm, some mm, things that need our taking care of, and we may think that I'm taking care of these things so that I can take care of you, right? I need to take care of these things so that I can pay the house bills, the electricity bills, the water bill. Um, I can provide food. And so if I'm not busy, if I'm not full, if I'm not meeting the deadlines, then I cannot take care of you. And so we have to be very careful with this thinking that there are things that we need to take care of, and the other person is not one of those precious things. You may find that we have some. difficulty in communicating with our loved ones. We don't understand uh, why she does not understand me. He does not understand me. Mm. I don't know why he is so difficult. She is so difficult. But when our loved ones are suffering this way, it can be as simple as that they have a need to be listened to. Sometimes our loved ones do not know how to say that I need you to hear me. I need you to listen to me. Uh, I want to express my suffering. And sometimes it is also our our own our own responsibility. Perhaps we're not so skilled at listening yet. I know that sometimes if my heart is too full, my mind is too full, I cannot listen very well. If my brother or sister has something difficult to share, something quite triggering, then I notice a lot of reaction inside of me. The commentator in my head is very strong. And so maybe when my loved one, my brother or sister is sharing something, then there is the thinking that, oh, this is wrong, this is right, you should do it this way, you should do it that way. And so I already have an answer for them before they have fully had the opportunity to express themselves. So if we know how to listen deeply, sometimes we do not even need to give uh, an answer. And most of the time, it seems to be that way. And so, in order to listen deeply, we have to know how to calm our own emotions. We have to know how to take care of the space inside of our hearts. So we make that space more breezy, more more fresh, less stagnant. Thầy teaches us that our mind, our heart is like a garden that we need to tend to. Right? And there can be mm, some flowers, some trees, and also some weeds. And so we need to know how to take care of the weed and to nourish the flower, nourish the trees. So when we can do that, the garden inside of us becomes like an equanimous space. The Zen master Shunryu Suzuki teaches in his book Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. He teaches that the duty, the practice of the practitioner is to make their heart like a spacious garden. And so if there are some deer, some wild animals that want to come by, they can come by. If there are some more ferocious, scary animals, they can come by. And they have a lot of space to play, you see. And so that means that when that garden inside of us is spacious, is uh, circulating a lot of fresh air, then we can listen to the difficult things that our loved ones need to say. We can listen to the things that are easy to hear and at the same time difficult to hear. And that is through the practice of taking care of our emotion, transforming our difficult emotion and creating joy for ourselves. So I see that our friends, many of our friends, you are already doing that by turning up to Sangha activity, meditating together, practicing Dharma sharing together, enjoying each other's presence. So what you are doing there is creating more space in this garden inside, making it more breezy, more the air more circulating, less stagnant, you know. So Sangha is very, very precious if you know how to uh, charge yourself during Sangha activity. You can benefit yourself and also benefit your loved ones a lot. Because when you return home or you return to your workplace, you are just a breezy, spacious garden. And those around you, they feel happy. They feel light and peaceful being around you. But just seeing you, they feel happy already because you created this space, this peace outside of the moments that you are with your loved ones. Mm. And so, in order to successfully practice deep listening, we need this space. We also need to listen in such a way where our only desire is to understand the other person. If before we listen, we already have the idea that, okay, I'm going to help them. I'm going to provide you with an answer. Please be very careful with this thinking. Mhm. Observe the thinking, then let it go. And then come back to your spacious garden. And with your in breath and your out breath, you nourish this garden more and more as you are listening. And so sometimes the other person will share something that may be uh, quite emotionally charged, quite difficult to hear because they have been keeping it inside for a long time. And so when you notice a difficult feeling come up, you recognize it. Breathing in, I recognize this difficult feeling. Breathing out, I take care of this difficult feeling. So your breathing becomes um, like the hand, when a cat or a dog comes to you, you stroke the cat, you stroke the dog, and the animal becomes more peaceful, more joyful, and more calm. So our breathing does the same thing for our emotion. Our emotion is like the pet, the animal that is not at peace yet. And so with our gentle breathing, our love, and our awareness, we hold the difficult emotion as we are listening to our loved one. They are saying something very strong, very strong, very strong, and a lot of emotion arising, and we hold it. We just smile and we continue to listen to them. And if we can do this, our loved one will feel already that, there is some sort of quality in this in this listening. This person really hears me. And if we do well enough, we we may do better than mm, the psychotherapist, or we may be doing even better than our own psychotherapist. Because sometimes our friends working in the area of psychotherapy, they suffer a lot. They hear and they collect a lot of suffering and a lot of difficulty and they bring it home with them. And they do not have a method of practice to take care of this suffering. And so they also become full. But if we learn how to take care of our emotion, take care of our own criticism and our own judgment inside, then our listening becomes very, very, very healing. Very healing. Mm. And so if we listen in this way, Um, Already we make communication between ourselves and our loved one that much more flowing because they feel like, ah, maybe now he or she understands me. Maybe now they understand me. And they get a sense of deep relief. Um, so, Disanga, if you find yourself in a situation where your loved one is opening up to you and they want to share something uh, quite difficult, um, please remember to return to yourself and take care of your emotion, take care of your inner garden, and make it more breezy, make it more spacious with your breathing, calming your emotion, calming your inner commentator, and letting go of the story that we are conjuring up as we hear our loved one. You are like this, you should have done this, you should have said that, you shouldn't have said this, you should have acted like this. Mm. So we let go of our thinking, we take care of our emotion, and we just return to the bare process of listening with our heart open. If you find that you want to reach for your phone as you are listening and you notice it, please don't judge yourself. If you start to criticize, please don't judge yourself. Um, don't add another layer of suffering on top. The Buddha teaches of the sutra of the two arrows. The first arrow hits and is very painful. Right? So we as practitioners learn how to take out the first arrow as soon as it hits. But if we are lacking in some peace, lacking in some stability, we may let another arrow hit in the same spot. And the second arrow hurts tenfold or 100-fold. So the second arrow is the arrow of further judgment, further emotion. So for example, if I'm listening to my loved one, to my brother or my sister, and I judge them, there is a judgment that arises. I don't need to let the second arrow hit by further punishing myself for having this judgment. You see, I may think that you have been a monk for how many years, and you are still your quality of listening is still like this or like that. That is the second arrow. This is the third arrow, the fourth arrow. You see, so when as soon as the first arrow hits, as soon as there is judgment or criticism of what you are hearing, recognize it with love. I see you, my dear judgment. I see you, my dear critique. I hold you and I let you go. Then I return to my breathing and I return to the listening. If you want to pick up your phone, take your phone and flip it over, place it on the table, far away from you. And this non-verbal communication lets the other person know that you are my highest priority. And if the screen is down, it's even easier because maybe if the screen is up and maybe somebody uh, sending a message on WhatsApp, let's go to have ice cream near Joyful Garden Sangha Center after this, or let's go to have some hot pot, Korean barbecue, and then it, bing, 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 bing. You see, suddenly there's a distraction. So we can put on silent and we can flip the phone around. And so it says that even if somebody is inviting me to Korean barbecue or hot pot, as much as I love it, you are my first priority. And I will be here and I will listen to you. The second practice recommended by our teacher Tai is the practice of loving speech. Um, Loving speech is the ability to speak in such a way that is truthful, but at the same time healing. So we speak in such a way that the other person feels they are not being attacked or being cornered. So sometimes we may want to have the opportunity to express our own hurt, our own difficulty. Mm. And if we are not so skillful yet, we may take on the tone of blame and judgment. Or because you said this, or because you did that, because you acted this way. And so, if we are not careful, our language may become may take on a tone of attack, and the other person may feel cornered. So we take care of our action of speech. We speak in such a way where the other person feels, oh, okay, this is how they suffer. This is how my dear one is suffering. But they, with every word, their heart opens like a flower more and more. And they feel they want to hear us more. They want to listen more. They want to understand more. Mm, when I first became a monk, my the only thing that was on my mind when I spoke to my father and my mother was to save them, to rescue them. So every time we had a webcam call or uh, we had the opportunity to talk, I would tell them about the practice. I would share about the practice. Hey, you should do this. You should try this. You should listen to this, learn that. And I found that after a while, mm, my parents became uh, quite reactive. Yeah. I think they became quite full. They knew that, okay, every time we have a conversation with our son, he's going to try and teach us again. And so after some years, I stopped doing this. And it was actually very painful for me to stop because there was a fear that um, if I stopped, then my parents would not have the opportunity to transform, to heal. Mm. And the moment that woke me up was this one time I was in France and we had one friend. She came to me one year. She said that, dear brother, David, are you experiencing the same? Right. Okay, sure. Yay, brother's back. She said to me, dear brother, I tried to bring Plum Village home to my family, And now my husband and my children hate me. And I listened to her. I said, okay. And the following year, she came back for the summer retreat and she said to me, dear brother, brother, my husband and my children really love me now. And I asked her, what was your secret? What did you do differently? And she said, when I first found Plum Village, I was always trying to get my family to join Plum Village, to join the practice, to come to Sangha. I was always correcting them in the house. You should eat mindfully, you should walk like this, you should breathe like this. But now I don't do that anymore. And I just let them be. I just take care of my own practice. And slowly now they want to come to Plum Village. And for me, that was like a slap to my face because it woke me up. It was exactly what I was doing to my parents. And so she said that instead of trying to get them to meet the Buddha, I became more like the Buddha myself. And so after hearing that, I tried instead of trying to uh, teach my parents, instead of trying to transform my parents, I just enjoyed their being. So every time we had the opportunity to talk, to enjoy each other's presence, I didn't talk about the practice anymore. With my father, I would find the things that we have in common and I would talk about that. So my father loves, for example, mm, cameras. He loves cameras a lot and coffee. So we would just talk about that. And my mother loves, uh, what does my mother love? She loves to go to the temple. So maybe I should spend more time finding out what my mother loves actually. And so the miracle is that uh, after 1 or 2 years of not trying to convert, not trying to transform my parents, they made the initiative to want to come to Plum Village. Uh, and so my parents came to Thai Plum Village at the beginning of this year. Lo and behold, I brought my father to my favorite coffee spot outside of Thai Plum Village. There's this really nice breezy place, and in my head, I was thinking, all right, we're just going to have coffee. We're not going to talk about any um, existential topics. No Trump, no Biden, no Ukraine, no Russia, none of these topics. You know, just coffee and just enjoy coffee. And so we sat for a while. We had coffee and we laughed. And after an hour, he just started to share. And my father started to open up. And I said to him, I said, Dad, sometimes I have to make difficult decisions and it hurts me a lot, but I know that it will benefit those around me. It hurts me because I fear that I will lose the approval of those around me. I fear that the truth that I may speak may be difficult for those around me to hear, but I still do it because I know that I need to, I need to do it, or else, mm, or else I will hurt myself later on. And he started to cry. He started to cry, and he felt understood. And I asked him, "Did you ever have to make decisions like that in the family?" And he cried, and he opened up and he started to share. So sometimes our loving speech doesn't need to take the form of the practice. It doesn't need to take on uh, the image that I am trying to speak lovingly to you. Maybe it's just a good conversation over coffee and some good questions. Did you ever suffer this way? Did you ever go through this? Did you ever have to? Mm, were there dreams that you could not fulfill that you had to let go of for the family? You see, we can ask these questions. And if we know how to choose the right moment where our guards are down, our defense mechanisms are down, then you may find that your loved one will want to share. And so loving speech does not need to take on any form. In Louis Cha's do you guys know Louis Cha? He's if you know Louis Cha, please put your hand up. One person. Great. In in the the Chinese Vietnamese community that I grew up in, Louis Cha is very, very famous. So he wrote the the legends of the Condor Heroes. Does anybody know the Condor Heroes? Hands up if you know the Condor Hero. Okay, yeah. And uh, the Dragon Saber and Heavenly Sword. So there is a legend in the Louis Cha's trilogy, the legend of the swordsman who is without match. In Vietnamese, we call him Độc Cô Cầu Bài, which is the lonely one who is searching for a worthy opponent. You may know him. You may know of this part of the story. So he, in his lifetime, he used many different swords. Firstly, there was the extremely heavy sword, and there was a philosophy behind why he had to use that sword and train with it for many years. And then there is the wooden sword, and there's also a philosophy behind that sword. And then there is the very flexible sword, and the last sword is the sword that is comes with the philosophy that is most, um, for me, very beautiful. I'm going to paraphrase what I remember in Vietnamese, but once the swordsman has found the way, even a blade of grass can be a sword. And so this insight mm, can teach us. It teaches us that when there is love, there is honesty in our hearts, there is the desire to want to um, help the other relieve their suffering, when there is goodwill in our heart, any speech, any moment, anything can be loving speech. Even a blade of grass can be a sword. So when you are skillful enough as a swordsman, uh, even a blade of grass, you know, can be can be used. So your speech is the same way. When we are skillful enough, when we are peaceful enough, and when our heart is in the right place, our speech, we will know how to formulate our speech in such a way that makes the other person feel held, feel loved and embraced. And so then coffee or something that we may consider being quite mundane can become an opportunity for deep understanding between ourselves and our loved ones. So um, please don't be caught. in the idea that the practice or loving speech or healing can happen only when we do this, and this. I must water the flower of the other person. I must praise them, and then I must do this, do that, do this, do that. It is up to your own intelligence and your own skillfulness that you know, okay, if we go out for dinner, if we go out for hot pot, even that can be a vehicle for understanding between my loved one and I. If I have enough peace, if I have enough stability and love. So you may want to practice loving speech when you return home. Thay offers us some mantras uh, that we can practice. One mantra is, I know you are there and I am very happy. Please review your life and see if our loved ones have ever heard these words uttered before. Have we ever said to them how much we appreciate them? And maybe once a week or once every few days, they just need to hear this, and then suddenly they bloom and they feel, wow, life is so meaningful now because there is someone that loves me. My loved one is there for me. So we can tell them, for example, if we have a friend named Peter, Peter, I know you are there and I'm grateful. You see, Sister Connie, I know you are there and I'm very happy. Singapore Sangha, I know you are there and I'm very happy. And suddenly we feel something inside of us become a little softer. And so imagine our loved one. Or if you are suffering, if you feel that uh, you need some space or you need some more understanding, you may want to say another mantra that Thay offers. Mm, I am suffering. Please help me. And so, please help me does not necessarily mean that you need to do something. It may just mean that I need some space. I need some time. I need to uh, spend some time exercising. Or I need to take a walk. And it has nothing to do with you. When I have some peace and some more spaciousness, I'll return to you. So if we in our daily lives we know how to develop more healthy communication like this through the practices of deep listening and loving speech, we may find that our relationship between our father and ourselves, or our mother and ourselves, our children, our partners, mm, can become an opportunity for us to understand each other more. And our relationship becomes a source of healing and nourishment for us. The Buddha speaks of the term Kalyana Mitra, which is a good friend. Good friend. And the Buddha said to the Venerable Shariputra, a good friend is the beginning of the path, the middle of the path, and the end of the path. So the Buddha stresses a good, having good relationship, having a friend who understands us, who understands our values, who hears our suffering and knows what makes us happy. And so if we know how to speak and to listen in this way, then we may find that already we have these Kalyana Mitras in our lives. It may be our father, it may be our mother, it may be our children, our partner. So we learn to develop a relationship with them that is not only father, child, mother, child, partner, or children and parent. We start, we connect with them and we build bridges with them on other frontiers as well. Uh, this is my child, but also we have this relationship. We are also friends. We are also uh, jogging buddies, or we are also coffee mates, or we also have this in common. So you see, if you know how to start to explore, discover your loved ones more and more every day, we start to develop more a multifaceted relationship with them rather than the parent dynamic or the one idea, which is the partner or the student. We start to have more connections. Mm. So I'd like to end with a poem of our teachers, and this poem is called Interrelationship, and it's written by our teacher Tai. Interrelationship. You are me, and I am you. Isn't it obvious that we inter are? You cultivate the flower in yourself so that I will be beautiful. I transform the garbage in myself so that you will not have to suffer. I support you and you support me. I am in this world to offer you peace, and you are in this world to bring me joy. So thank you, dear Sangha, for being together today and sharing this space, sharing this time with me. Mm. I would like to represent the brothers and sisters here in Taiplan village. A lot of peace, a lot of clarity, and also a lot of moments of quietness for you all. Not quietness outside, but rather quietness inside. And may you be very successful in the practice of communicating with your loved ones.